Good morning, alter ego. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
You're looking all spiffy and cute. I like your hair and your
I
little.
tried this morning. I put a little bit more effort into it. I'm still looking a little ashy, but
Oh my
I
god!
tried.
I was at a cookout. Well, it wasn't a cookout yesterday. It was like a little fellowship. It was really really lovely, and one of the young ladies was like, "I took a shower, I ran out the house. I didn't even put any lotion on." I'm like, I think a lot of people are not using lotion during this pandemic. I was
Listen,
like,
or ironing their clothes. I was like, you know what? It is what it is.
I think most people are like, listen, the fact that we're out
Yes.
the house. Oh my goodness. And I was sitting there listening to her and I was like, girl, I ain't putting that on either, but I didn't tell her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's really, really good to be back again. Hello, audience. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Sunday morning. It's a little after 9. And in case you don't know, this is Reverend B. Michelle Horton with the super duper producer and owner and radio host, co-host, Khadija Phillips, alter ego, who is looking amazingly beautiful this morning.
Thank
We
you.
are
Thank
here
you.
too. Hey, listen, give a
I
shout
lost
out.
6 pounds. I lost 6 pounds. So I was like, you know what? Let me put two braids in my hair.
Wow, man, I
Okay.
probably lost like 6 inches when about a year ago. So I'm gonna celebrate
Mhm.
with you.
Okay.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank
Anytime
you.
we lose any type of weight or gain weight, depending on, what,
Hmm.
balance you're looking at, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Taking care of our health is very, very important. Our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual health, all three of
Hmm.
those things should line up together. And so let's keep that going. And are you
Yes.
doing something special or what's plan or just kind of eating better or exercising? What are you doing?
Being a mom of twins, I guess. I don't
There you
know.
go.
Like, I don't even think when I was at the doctor's, I was like, I'm not really doing anything. And I'm like, maybe I'm just not eating as much.
Yeah.
With them being, they're two, they're going to be three. So they're doing a lot more of the terrible two kind of thing. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like a constant between chasing them around and then, doing what I'm doing. So I kind of
So
think it's just that really. But
yeah.
now that I got that, it's like, you know what? Let me go get some raw fruit and veggies and stuff that
Yeah.
I can do better. So
Yeah. 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 I see some of our guests are coming on and saying good morning. So we're really happy to see you guys. And for our listening audience, international and national, we are happy that you are here. Good morning. Good morning. We have a great show this morning. Listen, don't turn off your radio. Don't move from your screen. This is going to be a fun, engaging conversation that we're going to have. But I really did want to just kind of tell you guys that my week this week was. I talked to D last Sunday, and so for transparency reasons, I always kind of want to think about what to say, and I was feeling horrible,
mm,
really really bad. I hadn't been feeling well for a couple days, so I had like an episode, that I'm feeling much better today. But D, I had to wind up going to the hospital.
did you?
I did. I did. I
Oh
and
wow.
only two people knew about it because I didn't want to tell anybody unless something more serious happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was talking to my doctor the whole time. Well, let me start this. So when we were on the show last week, my pastor decided to text me and ask me to come and do something, and I was like, oh, I wasn't even gonna go to church because and
Hmm.
let me just tell you that I am so glad that I went. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful service. It was very uplifting, very encouraging. I felt better spiritually. Physically, I did feel better, but unfortunately, it didn't get better physically. So I wound up going to the emergency room, and this is okay, as they say, the opinion of B. Michelle Horton, not of the radio station. I had to wait in line to get in the emergency room.
Mm.
I've never in my 6 decade had to wait in line to get in. That's how many people were in the waiting to get into the emergency room. And it was, I almost left because first of all, it was very overwhelming to see that many people waiting in line. And then when I got in there to see that many people that was waiting just to even be seen. And God was good to me because I did come back home within, I think it was like 8 or 9 hours. I got out of there like in the middle of the night, early in midnight. But I also felt, and I was sharing this with my daughter, that while I was there, even though it was about me getting better, I also felt like God sent me there too, so that I can pray, because there were so many people sick. I mean, really sick. And I was able to also like pray with my nurse, who looked like she just was not going to even make it herself. She said she had worked for like 12 hours and she had to go to school the next day. And so I'm saying all that to this listening audience because my opinion is that we are in a space where we help each other by staying well, by doing the things that we need to do, by following the science. I am a person that advocates for people to be vaccinated. And what I saw, the amount of people, and they had to separate people from each other. They had to separate a father from a son because there was too many people in the emergency room and it wasn't any more room, and there were chairs lined up and beds in the hallway. So I saw that with my own eyes. And so I will just continue to ask us to really, really consider doing all the things that we can do to stay as well as we can. I'll leave it like that. And I'm grateful that I'm feeling much better today. Thanks be to God. So that's my testimony.
Okay.
And stay well, everybody. Stay well. We have a wonderful guest. I'm going to introduce her. Her name is K-Mack, comedian. Girl, listen, this is the kind of show we got. Sunday Morning Joy. Comedian K-Mack is going to be joining us. And we want to just give her a round of applause wherever you're at on air. I'm sure she can hear. She's going to come on in the room. And we're just going to let her have the floor. And then we're going to begin our interview. Comedian K-Mack. What's up? I think you're muted. Hold on 1 second. We're going to unmute you.
All right. That's me. It happens to me all the time. I do that. I'm just talking too. Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm awake and I haven't even had my coffee yet. And y'all see this joy? This is Jesus joy. Because I ain't had mine yet. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. I'm honored to be here.
We are happy to have you here. I saw something, and we'll talk a little bit about it, that you did on Facebook a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I follow you anyway. And we'll talk a little bit about that because we've met some years ago.
Absolutely.
On the circuit. I'm not a comedian in the spoken word.
That's right.
We met on the circuit, and you were funny then and you're funny now. So listen, let's just start with that. We're going to offer our audience just a little bit about who you are, what you do, and we're going to get into it. You want to give them a little something this morning?
I'll give a little something, you know what I mean? I think my best joke that's going around right now, you guys, it's an honor to be here. My name is Kadrina Mack, but everybody calls me K-Mack. If you don't mind, in the comments, if y'all can type in, hey, K-Mack, good morning, or something, show me some love in the comments, just to let me know that you're with me this morning, okay? I am the comedian with the big heart who gets the big laughs from Wilmington, Delaware. And it is an honor. It's an honor and a privilege, like I said earlier, to be here with you this morning. Every time I get the opportunity to perform comedy, I do take it very, very seriously, because I understand that I may be sitting in front of somebody who may not have had the opportunity to laugh in a while. And just in case that's you, I must give you a gentle reminder that Jesus loves you. And no matter what you're going through, we serve a God who said that he would never leave us nor forsake us. So I know that you love him, but this morning I want you to trust him. Trust that he's going to work it out on your behalf and that everything is going to be all right. Okay. Just wanted to encourage your heart before I get started. I love doing comedy because I get the opportunity, family, to perform in front of people that I don't know and to tell all my business. You don't get that opportunity everywhere you go. It's like free therapy. I don't have to pay nothing. Okay. So I want to be transparent with you all this morning, and hopefully you will accept me. You'll accept me for who I am. But I, K-Mack, because you know they always say their names in the meetings and stuff like that. So I, K-Mack, am a woman of larger faith. Like, I'm really a size 6, but God gave me a covering to protect it, right? Because he don't trust everybody with a body like this. And I see somebody looking, you know what I mean? I see Miss Crystal on there, Miss Bertha. I don't want y'all to be jealous. You know what I mean? That's not my intention. All right. But you gotta get your prayer life up. You know what I mean? Like I went outside one day and I was walking and I happened to see some skinny people. And the first thing I thought to myself, I was like, ooh, she don't know God. She don't know God. She don't know him. And skinny people get mad at me. They be like, I know him. I'll be like, sis, you don't know him. You don't know him. Because if you knew him, you would follow the scriptures. The Bible clearly says, taste and see that the Lord is good. So family, everywhere I go, I'm tasting. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm tasting. When you see me with a plate, know that I'm in the will of God, that I'm doing what he has called me to do. Amen. Somebody even said he's sweeter than the honey and the honeycomb. How would they know that if they wouldn't have tasted? You see what I'm saying? But see, this generation got it messed up. Everybody trying to be skinny. If everybody's skinny, who gonna wear the big sizes? Send me, Lord. Send me. I'll go. I'll step up to the plate. No, literally, I'll step up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? No, you know, everybody want to be on a diet. Diet, see, that's where it's messed up. Diet is not an action. Diet is a question. It stands for, did I eat that? Did I eat that? No, I did not. Let me taste it. You see what I'm saying? But I'm going to wrap this up. You know what I'm saying? That God just don't give you all of this at one time, family. Okay, I know y'all looking like, how can I too have that? God don't give you all of this at one time, but he gives it to you in increments. Can somebody say increments in the comments? Just say increment. He give it to you little bit by little bit. He give you as much as you can handle. Everybody can't handle this. So he give it to you little bit by little bit. You know what I'm saying? And see, alter ego trying to lose her faith. She losing it. Sis, get that faith back. Get your faith back. You see what I'm saying? Get your faith back, sis. All right. The 6 pounds that you lost, I picked it on up. Right on over here. God gave it to me. He enlarged my territory. Do you understand what I'm saying? God don't give you all of this in one time. He give it to you in increments. And I'm going to share with y'all how you know that you may be a person of larger faith, because I might have somebody on here that don't know. And I'm here to be a messenger from God, just to encourage somebody to walk in your faith. Amen. But if you weigh so much that Jesus can't lift your spirits, you may be a person of larger faith. Do you understand what I'm saying? Listen, if you got stretch marks, but they look like the lines on a lie detector test.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, somebody. That's who you call on. You may be a person of larger faith. Family, if you tie your shoe, but the bow ends up on the side of your ankle, come on, it happens. That's why I do zippers and Velcro. I don't do that no more. Okay, you may be a person of larger. Miss Michelle, if you catch your breath like it's a bus schedule, you'll be like, "Ooh, I done missed the 7:22. Let me get to 8:00." We can catch everything except our breath. Listen, I caught that 4 for 4 at Wendy's, didn't I? Yes, I did. All right, but the overall goal is to be healthy. See, my comedy is about body positivity, loving yourself and the skin that you're in, encouraging, and just uplifting people. But the overall goal is to be healthy. We know that. Drink your water, move every day, take your medicine, do the stuff that you're supposed to do. So I started weight training. And I waited in Popeye's line for 30 minutes. All right. I didn't complain. I didn't murmur. But I waited. It was a very humbling experience. You should try it. You guys, listen, if you want a blessing, learn how to be a blessing. I'm comedian K-Mack from Wilmington, Delaware, and thank you so much for having me.
Woo! Listen, y'all put up some claps, some thumbs, some hearts, some girl, you got it going on. Come on in the comments. Listen, is that a way to start a Sunday morning? Oh my goodness. K-Mack, I'm telling you. You know what? I was feeling good this morning when I got up, but right now I'm feeling super duper good.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Come on, audience. Clap. Hearts. Thank you. This radio show is like hitting all the buttons, and today we got a super duper treat. Oh my goodness. K-Mack, listen, as we were talking earlier, I was trying to remember exactly when I met you, but I remember your daughter. I think she was very, very young, maybe about 7 or so. I'm not sure
how old. Young.
Yeah.
I met you at Warm Daddies, didn't I? Gospel Mondays?
It was Gospel Mondays, but I had seen you at It's Okay to Laugh before then.
Okay, yeah.
I saw you there, but we were on I think I was doing one of your shows, if I'm not mistaken, at Warm Daddies, because you were doing some management then. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I used to facilitate shows there for 5 years. I did every week. Wow. Every week, called Gospel Mondays. And
Gospel Mondays, that's exactly right.
And we packed the place out.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Yeah. I mean, giving even, I would say, someone like, myself that was not really like on, some spoken word artists, poets are really like on a circuit, like they're all over. And I wasn't necessarily doing that. And then I had the same kind of intention like you, that it's kind of based on faith-based type. So it was really wonderful having that at such a great venue as Warm Daddies in Philadelphia. So listen, I want to read to our audience your bio, so that people really do know who you are. Comedian K-Mack is your comedian with a big heart, she says, who gets big laughs, and God knows we got big laughs this morning. She appeared for the Michael Collier morning show just recently in August. She also won the 2019 Listen Audience Comedian of the Year through Church Stars Network. As she said, she represents Wilmington, Newcastle, Delaware. She is currently the CEO of K-Mack Management and TV host of K-Mack's Clean Comedy Corner. We're going to talk a little bit about that, which can be viewed on YouTube, Church Stars Network app, and Catch the Fire Network. So this sister is all over the place doing all kinds of things on Fire Stick, on Roku, and Apple TV. She made her television debut in August of 2016 on the how do you say that? Macaroni show, which aired in the Philly Cam. And then a few years later, on June 4th, she appeared on the Lonnie Hunter variety show. I kind of remember that. It was a gospel late night TV show.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. She also made her writing debut as a co-author in May of 2020, alongside another comedian, Tanya Lewis, and other talented comics in a book titled Behind the Mask, Behind the Last. Well, that sounds really interesting. That title is very engaging. And she was a featured guest on Coming to the Stage, a segment of Get Up in the Morning show with Erica Campbell and comedian Griff, and that was in 2018. So her comedy career spans now more than 10 years. And when a good friend of hers urged her to open up for another comedian, Clint Coley, at a local comedy show, she instantly connected with the audience and kept the intentions with her clean but funny humor. And she's managed now. This is what I want to talk a little bit about. Listen, audience, by her 13-year-old daughter, Carrie Lynn. This is what you talk about keeping it in the family.
Yes.
Also, Ego. This is what you talk about community, who is in her heart and passionately advocates for single mothers, entrepreneurs, and anyone of larger faith. She's a proud member of the Resurrection Center in Wilmington, Delaware. Her pastor is Bishop S. Todd Townsend and Pastor Cleo Townsend. She serves as a personal assistant for It's Okay to Laugh, which is where I kind of connected with her about production. It's really, I think, the largest platform for clean comedy. Absolutely. Promoted by Anthony Tony Trott. And she's done a lot of comedy with Michael Collier, comedian Hamburger, comedian Lester Barry, comedian Griff, and on and on and on and on. So she has a very wide bio and interactions with a lot of people, as we say in the circuit. Listen, if you are interested in having someone share comedy with your church, with your organization, with your fraternity, sorority, whatever, you want to have her come and share. So her information is being put across the screen, and we hope that you will contact her and just have a good old time. Listen, if I'm here around for my 70th birthday, I'm adding you right now. I already know.
Okay, I would love it. I would be honored.
Because I only do birthdays like that every 5 years, so we got to wait a little bit. But if I'm here and the Lord allows me and I have a shing ding, as they say.
Come on.
Yeah.
I would love it. What you gonna have to eat? Let's talk about the important things. What's gonna be on the menu? Yes,
I don't know what's gonna be on there yet, but it's gonna be good. I guarantee you that.
It's so funny. I remember gigs by what they had to eat. So people come up to me and be like, "Oh, we had you at my church," and then I'll be like, "I did," you know. I'm like, "Well, what did we eat?" You know, and they was like, "Oh, we had lasagna." I remember that church. Yes, I remember the menu.
Man.
I was like, yeah, that macaroni was a little dry, but it was good though. It was good.
So I want to ask you a question. When did you know that you were funny to the point of making it a career?
I still don't know. I'm just being honest with you. Sacred moments, right?
Yeah.
The time when I was doing Warm Daddies, I was doing comedy then. Been doing comedy for 11 years now, right? But I never took it seriously because I didn't think it would last this long. Right.
Oh.
And so I was booked every time I do a show. People always come to me and say, how can I get your information? I would love to have you at my event, my church, or whatever. So every time I got started through word of mouth, you know, and I'm not the most popular comedian because I think I'm in my own lane. But I didn't even let nobody know. I didn't make it a spectacle that I was doing comedy for the first 4 years. It would just be, I would show up, I would get invited to a church and they were like, "You on the program?" doing comedy? I'd be like, I know. I was like, they invited me. So I'm just being obedient and stuff. And I thought it was a wave. I said, you know, God, I'm gonna just ride this wave until it's over. And then as soon as it's over, I'm not gonna be mad if it don't work out. I was like, because it was fun while it lasted. You know how people get their little 15 minutes of fame for a second and then stuff fizzles out? I really thought it would fizzle out. I didn't make a long-term goal out of this. Being a comedian was never anything that I ever aspired to be. This was not in any of my goal lists. Okay. But I am a living example that when God has a plan and purpose for your life, you know what I'm saying? And he makes it quite obvious and clear and open doors for you.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to get the message, and then you got to give them a hard yes, and then start walking in that direction. So it wasn't until like 4 years in that I had veteran comedians come to me and be like, girl, you good. They've been doing it for like 20 years. And I'm like, really? And they'd be like, no, you're natural. You got good timing, you know, da-da-da. And they were just giving me little tips and stuff. So my cousin is a full-time Christian comedian. His name is Chris Clark.
Oh, yes.
You know Chris Clark? Yes. So he's my first cousin. Now, knowing him was doing comedy, I didn't want to be disrespectful to the craft and just go up there I didn't want people to think I'm just going up there and that anybody can do comedy, because I don't believe just anybody can do comedy. You just like anything else that you do, you have to be gifted. Especially when it comes to ministry purposes, you have to be gifted for what you do. And I didn't want to be disrespectful. So I started going to clean comedy conferences. And I joined a conference called Living on Laughter Gospel Comedy Association, which is a family of gospel comedians. And they meet at different places all across the U.S. And I joined the organization to sit, to learn, to learn techniques on how to write, stage presence. And you're getting tips and stuff from people that's been in the industry. Yeah. And that was important to me. I was like, if I am going to take it seriously, if I am going to do this, try to do it the right way.
You said
I love that. Go ahead, Dick. Go ahead.
You said that you didn't, like, this wasn't something that you planned. It wasn't like a lifelong goal. No. What did you want to be, like when you were younger? What was I want to be a lawyer, a doctor. What was that for you?
So I was in school at University of Delaware for accounting, right? And management. And management information systems. And so I was also one of the directors for the gospel choir, right? Then I had left the gospel choir to start singing professionally with a group called Emery Marshall and Perfected in Praise. So for years, I had sung background. My goal was to always be a professional background singer. And I wanted to travel the world. I've sung background with Norman Hutchins. I've done his recording for his DVD. I've sung with Darnell Miller and the Praise Team. I used to sing with a group called True Vine, and we were signed with a label in Philly called Green Line Entertainment. My roots kind of go deep a little bit with relationships that I have with people in the music industry from me attempting to be a background singer, not knowing that those relationships, those people who I built relationships trying to be a background singer, were going to be some of my first clients in my business.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And they were okay to let me do administrative services for them because they trusted me and because of the relationship. That's what it was all about. Like, God was just meticulous in how it all came together. Any group that I had sung with, I was always doing the business, you know, the paperwork or, you know, utilizing the administrative skills that I have for those particular groups. So comedy came about after I lost my job after 12 years in 2009. And I didn't know that I had any other gifts. I was just planning to be at that job for 20 years, you know, to be able to retire. Just, you know, I had already bought my house. So that's where I thought I was going to be. But after 12 years on that job, I was sitting there and I was like, God, what do you want me to do? And that's when he gave me the business idea. He said, how about you do what you've been doing for free for the last 5 years?
Turned it into income.
Talking about, you know, singing in the background and the administrative services and stuff. And the idea kind of just came to me like, man, some of these artists, they just want to perform. They don't want to worry about the back end and the business aspect, the contracts and the negotiations and having to worry about that. But maybe they would want somebody to talk on their behalf and to do all of that for. So all you got to do is show up to the gig and everything is already done for you. And I kind of put it out on Facebook, said, would anybody be interested in, you know, administrative services for music artists? Would anybody be interested in that? And I just start getting a slew. Hey, get me. I'll hire you. I hadn't made no pricing. I hadn't did anything. And I kind of started my business before I even had a business license, you know, just from people wanting the service. And yeah, it was crazy. It was God. Then I started getting excited about that. Then that's how I met Lynn Brown. When he heard about the business, then I had an opportunity to do the tickets for Thomas Clay, who was my first show. Shannon Lally was his manager and asked me to do the tickets for a show that he did at Warm Daddy. And that's when I met Lynn Brown, who I had worked with at Warm Daddy's. And then we partnered up, and then he gave me some of his clients to be a part of my company. And that's how just everything started.
So all of it seems to kind of be under an umbrella, but what I hear is that, and I think it's in the comments, you know, you were being prepared for something that you didn't even know you were being prepared for.
Exactly.
And then meeting up with and I'm hoping our audience is listening to that, and then meeting up with the already giftedness that was inside of you. But you know what really makes my heart happy is the fact that you said, let me go and get prepared. Let me go and be trained. Let me not enter a space and just try to figure it all out.
Right.
When that's just like, you know, in ministry, right?
Yes.
Like everybody doesn't have to do one particular way. But when God called me to ministry, I needed to go and be trained. So I was able to go to do some seminary work, and I still do it because you want to honor the gift that has been given you.
Absolutely.
You know, by coming alongside and doing the work. Those things must go together.
You have to. And it's doing clean comedy is not the very most popular thing to do. And it's definitely not, you don't get remunerated much. You know, it's not a get rich scheme or anything. I do this because I actually love it. My first time on stage is on YouTube, right? I'm in a pink shirt with a ponytail I had just bought and everything. And I just knew that I was looking cute that day. So, and again, my mindset when I was on stage was that this is a one-time deal. I did it. I had got approached by the girl who was Chanel Seibert. I give her all the credit because she was like, Kadrina, I want you to do 5 minutes on this show. And I said, 5 minutes of what? She was like, comedy. Girl, you are so funny. You know, I said, well, I'm funny to you because you're my friend. Okay. But yeah. I said, I can't do comedy in front of people I don't know. You know what I mean? Everybody's not going to laugh. And she would not let up. She was relentless. She was like, you have to do this show. And I finally was just like, okay. Just out of pure trying to get her to be quiet, I said, okay, girl, I'll do it. And I used to watch Comic View every day anyway, naturally, you know? So I really sat home and put a set together myself and tried to talk about my life and things that I was going through. And I didn't know that the crowd would enjoy it so much.
You know what, though? What I've seen from you in your presentation is that it's who you are. Like, we underestimate authenticity. When we are in our authentic self and operate in our authentic self, along with the giftedness of God, the purpose, the plan that God has given us, it is success.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to look and be like somebody else's, what they say, this is successful. You're successful because you are, I think, following what God is giving you to do.
You
and
know
in
what's
your
weird?
success, you're blessing us.
You know what's weird about that is, and I'm just being so real. I don't know if somebody can identify, but it feels, other people would say, oh, you're doing so well. You are blessing. And I know that God is blessing. I'm not taking that for, I know that. Okay. But my point in saying this statement is that I feel like I'm in survival mode.
Okay.
So sometimes what may seem like I had a big opportunity here, I feel like that was that opportunity.
Okay.
I can't stop there. So I can't stand still and gloat and revel in that one opportunity because I feel like if I don't work, I don't eat. So I have to keep going. It's like one opportunity to the next opportunity. And for every platform that I get the opportunity to be on, whether I'm on stage, whether I'm doing, radio shows like this, I'm grateful. And I try to take advantage of every opportunity and be ready. You see what I mean? Be ready, because it only takes one person. I was sharing this. It only takes one person to believe in what you're doing, to bless your life and to change your life. And so every time I perform, I don't know who's watching.
That's right.
I don't know who you're related to.
Yeah.
You could be Kevin Hart's auntie and you could just drop my name. You see what I'm saying? You don't know who people know. And then the blessing too, I see Miss Carol is on here. Let me tell you, when I first started, I told you for the first 4 years, I didn't tell nobody, really. Every time I had a show, and they would ask me, what is your fee? How much do you charge? And I'm like, charge? People charge for this? You know what I mean? I didn't know anything about the business. So all I said, being raised in church all my life, give me a love offering, right? I said, I'll just take a love offering. And they was like, really? And because people saw my worth that I didn't know. I didn't know at the time. And I never got nothing less than $100, right? So I thought that was the fee. I was like, if people don't mind paying $100 for 10 minutes, cool. You know what I mean? So then I was performing every $100, and I was happy. I was happy in my soul, Then Miss Carol, she's right here in the chat room. She was like, don't you charge $100 no more? She was like, you are way better than $100. Don't let me hear you charging $100. And she was like, no, you are good. Know your worth. And that's good. Like she said, connecting with people who will give you the truth. She said, not expecting anything in return, and I'm like, oh, you're giving me good advice. You want a percentage? She was like, no, just don't charge $100. You know what I mean? And now I'll be looking at somebody crazy, like $100. What? But no, it's
Okay.
it's been a journey, y'all.
Amen.
This has been a journey for me, a God journey.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've been learning, growing through this process. He's been opening doors for me. I'm sitting in places with pastors in the front places. I'm like, Lord, how did I get here? All because he charged me no matter where I go. Sometimes I'll be in bars. I'm the only clean comedian on the show, but they invited me, and I'm there to let you know that Jesus loves you. And I'm not ashamed to say it. In a room full of people who claim to be atheists or, whatever, I just am just bold with it, and I stay in my lane.
Yeah.
And God has just been so good to me through this comedy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Alter Ego has wants to add anything, but this has been, and I know we did have a question, I think, or two, but this has been so very rich.
Yeah, I do want to ask the question: do you eat, sleep, and drink comedy? Like, are you unable to turn it off? This is the question from the audience from Jackie Farmer.
Oh, yeah, no. So the crazy thing is, if you just know me as K-Mack, you don't know all the sides of me, right? Because that's just my comedy side. Prior to when I start going back into the workforce, I was the HR manager for an IT company. So you can't crack jokes when you're firing somebody. You can't crack jokes when you are reprimanding somebody. That doesn't work. However, I believe God has blessed me with a jovial spirit to be able to connect with people and to have a serious conversation. Like, we gave you a warning. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it. Let's be understanding. I haven't had any bad, confrontations or, oh, forget this job or whatever. And I'll be like, I apologize that we have to do this, but we're gonna have to make that decision.
So it's just
let you go, stuff like that. So no, I can't be funny at all times, but I am grateful that I can look at different situations and things and try to find the humor in it. I can live life because my life is funny. My daughter is funny all by herself, and she's most of my set. My mom is hilarious, so I can just look at things that I'm going through in my life, even the traumatic experiences that wasn't funny to me at the time, but it's something how when I share it on stage, people can identify and be like, I went through that too. Oh my God, but you right, girl. Oh my God, that's funny. And just to be able to connect with people, that means the world to me. Because then after each show, people are like, can you pray with me? Or, can we stay in touch? Or just to have the opportunity just to minister to people.
Yeah.
That's what my comedy is about. This is a ministry.
Yeah.
And I ask God all the time just for his wisdom to be able to manage it correctly.
Yeah.
It was never for fortune or fame. I like my bills to be paid and stuff, but God, just help me, this gift that you decided to land on my shoulders, just help me manage it right so that you get the glory everywhere I go. Well, and that's my goal. My goal is to raise a standard in comedy that you don't have to cuss to be funny.
Yeah.
I can hold my own on any stage and not say one cuss word and talk about my life and everything that I've been through. And that's the standard that I want to uphold.
Well, I know that our audience has enjoyed this time, our show for this morning. I'm speaking that because I know my heart is just filled with joy from not just your presentation in the comedy part, but your essence as a woman, as a sister in Christ, as someone that is doing what I think most of us is doing, is walking this journey in faith with the one that is faithful to us in every way, shape, and form. I really hope our audience we put her information across the screen. Contact her, keep her in mind for your upcoming event. I think you also do, if I'm not mistaken, which is some of the stuff I've been doing, some virtual stuff. So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's also, we're working with what we got to work with in this pandemic world right now. But our audience has been really just posting. So go back and watch later. It has been a tremendous blessing to have you here today.
Thank you.
We look to have our guests come back at some point, and I know that Khadija has a lot of other shows, so you may be getting a call from her.
Please call me back. I don't want this to be the last time. And I have people coming up to me talking about, I want to get a picture with you now before you get too famous. All this stuff like this. I'm like, y'all are so crazy. Listen, call me anytime. I would love to be a part. I just got to make sure I have my coffee and stuff and, my head together when I come
we work it out. We work it out.
Call me. I love this,
Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for joining us today, audience. We hope that you have a really, really good week. Know that Fridays, we are back to meeting Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Sacred Space Ministry. We are doing a series on the tactics of the enemy. It's been empowering. We have a few more weeks to go, so join us then. And we do hope to see you back right here Sunday, 9 a.m. with more just more fun, more laughter, more faith, more Lord, more Lord. And more fellowship one with another. So thank you all for being here. I hope you had a great show.